Hey everybody. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go over some of the basic Cricut, how to do things. When you first get your machine, it can be intimidating because it seems like there's a lot that you can do. The terms are confusing, but I'm going to make this easy. So what we're going to do is when you first go into you open Design Space and you go into Access, and Access is you can pay for it, you don't have to. If you do pay for it, you get to use several of the fonts, images. There are some images and fonts that you do have to pay for. So what we are going to do is I need to move this button over to the side. Okay, so I'm going to go to New, and for some reason my screen is blacked out. There it goes. Okay, we're going to go to Projects on the left-hand side of the screen. And I always recommend using a computer because you have access to all of the features of Design Space. With your phone, a tablet, iPad, and Chromebook, they're not fully compatible, so you don't have access to everything. So we're going to go to, let's see what we've got here that we can work on. We'll just go create a new project and start from scratch. So what I'm going to do is click the text box. And my computer is running a little bit slow today. I've restarted it and it's still slow. So we'll just do one with my business name. I'm going to hit enter and I'm going to put just a fake phone number in there. Okay, so this font, when you start putting text in, it automatically goes to Cricut Sans. You can change that. Once you highlight the box that your text is in, and you go up to the upper left of the bar up there. So these are system fonts. The first tab is Cricut fonts, and all of them that are Access have the little A on there. I'm going to go back over, and then with Cricut fonts real quick, you can do their new fonts. You can search by decorative, vintage, stencil, black letter. There's a whole bunch of them. System fonts doesn't give you that option. You can search for the font name if you know what it is, or you can scroll through all of these fonts. There's a lot on here. And then there's the bookmarked fonts. These are just ones that I use frequently. I don't have a whole lot in there. And then the recent fonts tab, and that'll show like the last few that you've used. So I'm going to go to System, and what this means is these are the fonts that are installed on my computer system. And I will either do another video, or if I have time today, I will go in and show you how to install those fonts into Design Space. So I'm going to scroll down. Let's see what Airplanes in the Night Sky looks like. The Cricut Sans font is really basic, and I'm not a fan of it because it makes your items look really generic. Let's try this one. And then you also want to think, are you putting this, is it going to be vinyl? Are you going to print and cut? Is it going to be iron-on? Now this one I do kind of like that one. Let's click there and close that. It's really big. So what you can do, click on the box, and then you're going to go up to the top bar, and it says size, width, and height, and it's at 32 inches right now, almost 33. And I'm going to change that to, let's do 8. And that's really small, so you can't see the detail of it. Let's do 15. That's a little bit better. go ahead and do 20. Okay, that's pretty much got it. There we go. Now it's in my screen. Not super fond of that font. Let's find one that's okay. There's this one. This is a good example. So it's a cute font. It is big. So let's take that back down to, we'll do 19.5. Okay. One thing that I want to show you is right now it's centered because after the top line, I did hit enter. So my phone number is on the second line. The issue that I see right here though, is that the number 555 right here in the middle is touching the C in custom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the entire box, and over on the right hand side, there's two little squares that are kind of connected. That's the group and ungroup button. I'm going to ungroup that. And then what I'm going to do is towards the bottom of where my phone number is, I'm going to click. Oh, that didn't work. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to click and I'm going to drag across that. And I'm only doing the bottom. That way it will not attach the C in custom to what the phone number is. So then I'm going to go down to combine once I have the phone number. You can attach, I always weld if I'm not going to make changes to that. Okay, so now the phone number is 1. It's all connected. There's no changing that once I save this. Now I'm going to go up here to the top, click and drag all the way across my business name. And I'm going to do the same thing with that. I'm going to weld it. It takes just a second. There it goes. Now I can separate this so that it's not attached to the letter C in custom. And I'm going to move this a little bit, kind of try to figure out the spacing that I like in there between the C in custom and the phone number. That looks good to me. Now I'm going to do Control A, and if you have a Mac, it may be different. I don't use Macs, never used a Mac. So Control A is selecting the entire image or design. And then I'm going to go up to the top, click Align, and I'm going to center horizontally. And that moved it over a smidge to the right. That's good. Now what I can do is, let's say I want to do my business name in red. I will select that, and then up at the top next to basic cut, it's automatically like a really dark gray. It's not quite black. I'm going to go to advanced, and I'm going to go way over here to red, and I'm going to click in the top right hand corner of that, and that's going to change my font to red. Now I'm going to click the phone number, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go way over here to the red, but I'm going to do this in a little bit darker red and see how it looks. Don't really like how that looks. You know what? It's Christmas. Let's do green. Here's a good dark green one. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so if I'm going to cut this out of vinyl, let's say I'm going to put it on my car door. Okay, I'm going to make it the correct size, or let's say my window because that's smaller. I'm going to come over here and select everything. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do. Okay, let me go back. Okay, I'm going to select, let's see. We'll just leave that right there. Okay, so then I'm going to go up to make it. And since this is on regular vinyl, I'm going to do on matte. This is new. That they have updated this thing a lot. And my matte size, I'm going to choose, it's not going to let me choose 12 by 12 because my design is too big, which is fine. Okay. So on the 12 by 12 mat, the maximum that you can cut is 11 and a half. So with the 24-inch mat, you can cut up to 11 and a half inches wide and 23 and a half inches long. So what I would do is I would get my 24-inch mat out, I would get my vinyl, I would put it on there, and then you would use a burnisher, which is this tool right here. It's just a little roller, and that just helps the vinyl adhere to the mat. If there's any air bubbles under there, or let's say you have like a piece of fuzz, dog hair, human hair, it will cause the vinyl to not want to stick to the mat and could cause the vinyl to move. So we'll run that through. We don't have to mirror anything. And when it's done, it will ask for the second mat, which we actually can change the size of that one to, I believe we can change it. Let's see, 12 by 12. Yes, right there. So that changed it to the 12 by 12 mat. Then what we'll do after it's cut is you have to weed it, and then you will use transfer tape and transfer that to whatever you're going to put it on. If you're going to put it on anything non-porous like glass, plastic, linoleum tiles, anything like that, you're going to want to clean it with rubbing alcohol first, let it dry, make sure there's no fuzz from your rag or your towel, and always let it sit for at least 48 hours so that the adhesive will cure and you have less of a chance of it coming off.